That is so broken. Boys, today, I want to talk about something that Behaviour's done that I find really, really weird. And that is that they've essentially took what I believe to be the best add-ons in the entire of Dead by Daylight, for Killer anyway, in range for Nurse. Now, there's a multitude of reasons why these are the best add-ons, but the main one basically would be it allows you to pressure much more gens and hold a lot of the map, as well as one of the main things that you can use as leverage in a chase against Nurse to run her for as long as possible is distance. And distance is completely negated with range add-ons. Now, I really don't understand the thought process from Behaviour here, but for whatever reason, they've decided to make blinks always take the same amount of time. So this basically means that your full range 30-meter blink with double range add-ons will take the exact same travel time as a max range base blink, which is only 20 meters. The maximum blink duration is 1.5 seconds, so you're traveling 30 meters in 1.5 seconds as opposed to 20 meters in 1.5 seconds. Now, the weirdest part of this is that rate carries across. It's not just increasing your speed for the extra little distance that those add-ons give you. If you do the same distance with less than max range, and I tested this with Otzdarva last night, so I can show you the clips. For whatever reason, you travel that distance faster. Now, to test this, we quite literally used a macro, so they were the exact same keybind inputs, and you can see very clearly the speed difference between the two. One of them is with double range add-ons, and the other one is with no add-ons at all. And another thing which makes this just even weirder is that this increased blink speed, which is supposedly due to the range, that we all believe to be a bug because why would you buff these add-ons? They're already so game-breakingly good. Was that it increases the speed of the second blink as well, when the second blink doesn't increase in distance whatsoever down to the range add-on. The second blink is always the same. You just don't have enough time to charge past the 12 meters. It's so weird. To me, it just seems like a bug, which they've now decided is a feature. But honestly, it's just really, really peculiar because it just makes no sense to me. I've made videos on this in the past because I just instantly assumed it was a bug because why would you buff these add-ons? It just doesn't really make any sense. Now, over on Twitch at the moment, you may have seen I'm on a 215 win streak, and this is predominantly because of the power of range add-ons. They've really helped me out a lot, even when it's really good squads. We got sniped by pretty much a comp team, and we managed to win that game because we had a favorable map. And range add-ons, it just limits what the survivors are allowed to do much, much more because they can't make distance on me, they can't hold W. It's really hard for them to react in time because I'm just traveling and coming at them a lot faster. It also completely ruins the mind game of, am I going to hold my dead hard? Am I going to use my dead hard? And I'm sure all the nursemates that are watching this absolutely love this. But it literally makes the dead hard mind game just impossible because they have to pre-dead hard so early. I almost know that if the survivor's good, the first time I blink at them with range, they won't be able to react in time to dead hard. And if they adjust to that, knowing that I have range, knowing that I'm traveling quicker, the second time, they'll throw out that dead hard so early, I just wait, second blink, and we get them. Now, nurse counterplay has always been a very interesting topic. It's more like one of those things that I guess you have to learn. It's very different to the base game. You can't really use pallets against a nurse. And some people would like to say that there's no counterplay to nurse whatsoever. I wouldn't say that I believe that, but the counterplay to nurse is very, very weird. I wouldn't blame anyone for not knowing at all that one of the best places to run against a nurse is the edge of the map where there's just nothing at all. Just rocks, trees, and, you know, those little Z-walls and stuff like that. I wouldn't blame anyone for not knowing that you're not meant to use pallets against nurse. But we do know from the past that Behaviour are very, very stats orientated, and they like to use the stats of the game's kill rate, etc., escape rate, to know what they're doing in terms of balance. And that's the only way I can justify these kind of changes. Because as well as this, with the recent nurse bug fixes for Blink bug, M1 bug, if you don't know what they are, it doesn't really matter. They were just bugs that Nurse had that made her weaker for a long, long time. They also got rid of the double stun in Fatigue. You can now only be stunned once, whether it's with a pallet, whatever. So what used to happen before is you would blink into a pallet, then you would get slammed by the pallet, and then you would fatigue afterwards, which actually gave the pallets somewhat viability against the Nurse. And a lot of highly skilled players would use those pallets against the Nurse because they would have a way to fake it out and get the stun, which was a pretty skillful thing in itself for the survivors to do. It was really impressive when they managed to do that. And as well as that, your blink now just stops wherever it's charged to. You don't go back to the blink that you had before. So for example, if I accidentally charge up my blink a little bit early, when it's 150% of my blinks to charge, so I only have one blink and 50% of the second, Obviously, I can't use the second blink, but when I've used my first blink and I go into fatigue, that 50% charge stays there and I get my second blink a lot quicker. If that makes sense. I might have explained that terribly. I've had 1 hour sleep. I'm really sorry. At the end of the day, I'm a nurse main. I guess I can't be complaining too much. I'm pretty happy where nurse is right now. The only thing that I really think needs to be addressed is range add-ons. I just think range add-ons shouldn't exist in the game. I think it just takes her very little counterplay and just chucks it out the window. I think also with range add-ons, you can just play a game where you just tag off gens and just never chase, which is just a really easy way to play nurse. There's no predictions, there's nothing. You can just tag off gens. And it's if the survivors always respect your terror radius, then they'll never get gens done. Because with range, you can hold down about 5 gens and you be in the range of teleporting to them at all times. Same with mid-witch. If you're ever in the middle, you can teleport to every single gen on the map with range. So you hold an insane amount of pressure just by existing. And it's not like a perk like Spine Chill will counter this anyway, because you can just flick to the gens. And then if the survivor's leaving as soon as you look at the gen, you can notice that. You can take a mental note. And then you just last second change your direction to flick to the gen and you get your free hit. But I don't know, range add-ons have always been a controversy with nurse. There's a good reason why they're banned in comp Dead by Daylight, whether you play comp or you don't like comp at all. It's balanced relatively well, and the comp balancing for nurse is actually pretty good. The add-ons you're restricted to is just double recharge. Range add-ons are not allowed whatsoever. But as well, you can't deny the fact that the survivors are only allowed 1 of each perk typically. And the counter argument to that would be, well, if the survivors can bring 4 dead hards, 4 decisive strikes, 4 iron wills, etc., then I should be able to have my range add-ons, which I guess is completely reasonable. But I don't know, the whole idea of this video was just to, A, show you the change that Behaviour's made, because it's relatively gone under the radar. I was only sent this yesterday, and the fact that it's confirmed to not be a bug, I just thought it was a bug that they hadn't fixed in a while. The fact that they've actually gone out of their way to buff the range add-ons is just really, really peculiar. And to be honest, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I'd love to hear the community reaction. I know a lot of nurse mains are sub to me. So as a nurse main, what do you think? Do you think it's unfair for the survivors, or do you think, I think range add-ons are fine? It doesn't bother me, I lose with range add-ons often? Or do you think it just makes the game too easy for you? As a survivor main, do you think range add-ons are completely busted? Do you think they have reasonable counterplay? I would really like to know. Either way, this has been a pretty weird video for me. Normally, I like to just do gameplay videos and have fun, just testing out random builds and stuff like that. Also, I will just drop in quickly, because this has been a more personal video. I don't tend to do these kind of things where I give my opinion. We're really close to 100K. We hit 90,000 subscribers the other day, which is just so surreal. I can't thank any of you enough to show how genuinely, incredibly grateful I am. Either way, I would love to hear your opinions in the comments. Thank you all so much for the support lately, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.